Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, I felt that I had left out an important topic called female genital mutilation, commonly called as FGM. So, my series won't be complete if I didn't talk about this. So, let's move on, and I would show you what is FGM. Let's first see the definition and see what is FGM, and then we will see from Islamic scriptures what they say about FGM, because this is seen mostly in Islamic world. So this is the WHO site, UNICEF site, and it says at least 200 million girls and women alive today living in 30 countries have undergone FGM. And there it gives you a definition. Female genital mutilation, FGM, refers to all procedures involving partial or total removal of the female external genitalia or other injury to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. So there we have the definition. Now, going further, I would like to see the WHO site. What does it say? It says that female genital mutilation is of four types. The type 1 is the partial or the total removal of the clitoral glands and the prepuce, and type 2 is the partial or total removal of clitoral glands and the labia minora, with or without removal of labia majora. And type 3 is known as infibulation, is the narrowing of the vaginal opening through the creation of a covering seal. The seal is formed by cutting and repositioning the labia minora or labia majora, sometimes through stitching, with or without removal of the clitoral prepuce. And type 4 includes all harmful procedures done to the female genitalia for non medical purposes like pricking, piercing, incising, scraping, and cauterizing the genital area. So, um, here they have explained what is infibulation refers to the practice of cutting open the sealed vaginal opening of a woman who has been infibulated, which is often necessary for improving health and well-being as well as to allow intercourse or to facilitate childbirth. So there are no health benefits. Many people say that FGM is healthy for you. It is done for medical good hygiene, etc., and that's all wrong. And immediate complications can be severe pain, excessive bleeding, genital tissue swelling, fever, infections, urinary problem, wound healing problems, injury to surrounding genital issue, shock, and death. And long term complications are urinary problems, vaginal problems, menstrual problems, sexual problems, and increased risk of childbirth complications and need for later surgeries like sealing or narrowing of vaginal opening may lead to practice of cutting open the sealed vagina later to allow for sexual intercourse and childbirth, and psychological problems. And since this is carried out in from girls who are infants till adolescents, and sometimes on adult women, and more than 3 million girls are estimated to be at risk, and that data we got from UNICEF is 200 million girls and women alive today have undergone FGM. So this is what I wanted to share with you about FGM, to know what it is. And now let us see what the Islamic scriptures have to say. So this is Sahih Bukhari, which is an authentic hadith book. It's book 77 and hadith 108 says, I heard the Prophet, narrated Abu Huraira. So Abu Huraira is saying that he had heard Muhammad saying, five practices are characteristics of the fitra: circumcision, shaving the pubic hair, cutting the mustaches short, clipping the nails, and depilating the hair of the armpits. So, among these five important things, one is circumcision, and that is why in the several videos that I had shown you. There was a video on the old people, cruelty towards the old. We had seen that in the winter time, they had circumcised old men as old as 120 years. They had circumcised with axe in the winter, and many of the people died. Many of the old men died, and there was no need of circumcising these old men. But circumcision is like a compulsory thing for all Islamic men. And we see in many communities in Islam, women are also circumcised. So let's move on to the next one. It says Sunan Abu Dawud. It's a book 43 and hadith number 499. Narrated Atiyah al Ansariya. A woman used to perform. So this man Atiyah is saying a narration about a woman who used to perform circumcision in Medina. So that means she was circumcising women, girls, infants. A woman used to perform circumcision in Medina. The Prophet said to her, "Do not cut severely, as that is better for a woman and more desirable for a husband." So the Muhammad was telling her, don't cut the girl severely because it is better for woman and more desirable for a husband. So which has this hadith has been taken by people in their own manner, and they think that Muhammad is saying to cut for hygiene reasons or for cultural reasons or for different things. So this is another instance we find that Muhammad did not stop the woman that you don't cut her, but on the contrary, he said that do not cut her severely. So this is another evidence from hadith. Now let's look at another example, which is from Daif al-Albani. It's a book 53 and hadith 1245. It mentions about an old woman from Kufa. The grandmother of Ali ibn Gura reported that al-Mujahir said, so this old woman who is the grandmother, she's saying that uh, al-Mujahir had said that he was captured, no, sorry, she was captured with some girls from Byzantium, and Uthman offered us Islam. So these girls which were captured were non-believers. But Uthman was trying to convert them, so Uthman offered us Islam, but only myself and one other girl accepted Islam. So there were two people, and this narrator, she and another girl accepted Islam. Uthman said, "Go and circumcise them and purify them." So Uthman was saying that those two girls should be circumcised. So circumcision was became a compulsory thing in those days. All women were also circumcised, and we have this evidence right here, which says that they were asking convertees to Islam to circumcise themselves. And as we had seen that they had gone and not spared old men also in winter, and many died, but they would not stop. These people circumcise every woman and every man in Muhammad's time, as is evident from these hadiths. Now, coming back, I would like to show you. I showed you what is female genital mutilation and how there are four kinds of FGM, and 200 million people world over, women are have already been circumcised. And then we saw evidence from the hadith that Muhammad did not stop circumcision. In fact, he just said that don't cut her so severely. And in another hadith, Muhammad is saying that circumcision is necessary. And now let us see that what is happening in Indonesia. So let me share with you. So it says the day I saw 248 girls suffering genital mutilation. So Here it says that it was 9:30 a.m. on Sunday and the mood inside the school building in Bandung, Indonesia is festive. Mothers in headscarves and bright lipstick chat and eat coconut cakes. Javanese music thumps from an assembly hall. There are 400 people crammed into the primary school's ground floor. These 400 females, these 400 little girls are gathered in the ground floor, and it is hot and noisy and chaotic. But 12-year-old Sumina is not. She wants to punch somebody. She has a white hijab and a hoodie, and her eyes are livid and bewildered expression of a child who has been wronged by people she trusted. She sits on a plastic chair, swatting away her mother's effort to placate her with a party cup of milk and a biscuit. And she is in severe pain. An hour ago, her genitals were clipped by a scissors while she lay on a school desk. And you know what is going to happen to all these 400 girls over there? They are going to get their genitals clipped by scissors. I was afraid to read further. It is too disturbing for me. I normally I don't like to read these kind of details. The heading itself, stops me further from reading because my heart has a reaction. So I put a hand on my heart and then I read it because I give assurance to my heart that yes, I'm there. Don't burst. So I will try to read, and when I cannot, I will just stop and you can open this site and read it yourself. So during the morning, 248 Indonesian girls undergo the same ordeal. Sumina is the oldest, the youngest is just 5 months. Can you imagine 5-month old infant that they are doing this? And they're doing it with scissors, not even with surgical instruments. They are just doing it so rudimentarily. In April 2006, and the occasion is a mass ceremony to perform sunnat. And you know what is sunnat? Sunnat means to follow Muhammad. So whatever Muhammad did, you follow him. That is called sunnat. So on female circumcision that has held annually, so they are holding it every year since 1958 by Bandung-based Yayasan Asalan, an Islamic foundation that runs a mosque and several schools. And the foundation holds the event in the lunar month of the Prophet Muhammad's birthday and pays parents 80,000 rupiah and a bag of food for each daughter they bring to cut. And we will just read that all these children were mutilated, and see inside I was greeted by Hajela 57, a teacher and a midwife who would supervise the cutting. She was wearing a pink floral apron with frilly pockets. She had been a traditional midwife for 32 years. She had no formal training, so she has no surgical training. She's not a nurse also. So, boy or girl, I was almost 6 months pregnant at that time, and she was asking whether it was boy or girl. And when she said boy, she said praise Allah. And Hajjela insisted that the form of FGM they practice is helpful to girls' health. And she explained that they clean the genitals and then use sterilized scissors to cut off part of the hood or prepuce and the tip of the clitoris. So, how is this helpful to girls' health? I asked. It balances their emotions so they don't get sexually overstimulated. So, to curb the sexual desire of girls, that is the main reason that they are doing this. And it also helps them to urinate more easily and reduces the bad smell. And she also made a comment that my grandmother said that circumcised women cook more delicious rice. And this is what they did, and I don't want to read any further because it is horrendous how they were brought in the girls and how they were this 4-year-old girl laid down and uh, so see she clipped her with scissors and she said not much blood, all done. And the girl's scream was a long guttural rattle which grew louder as the midwife dabbed her genitals with antiseptic. So you see, this is what is happening. uh, and In a dingy, crowded room, the cries merge with the sobs and screeches of other girls lying on desks, and the clucking of the midwives, because they are just doing it with scissors. And Etty was elated. She was 40 years old and she brought two daughters aged 7 and 3 to be cut. And being circumcised will bring them good luck. And Etty was a farmer. Anyways, so we were read too much. Um, and I would like to say to you that Daudi Bohras actually in India are responsible for this practice of khatna, which is called in Hindi called khatna, or it is the female genital cutting. And what is the real purpose behind khatna? And this Dawoodi Bohra community living in India is doing this. In June of 2016, Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin issued a press statement in which he described circumcision as an act of religious purity. So they do it because they want to show that the girls are pure, and so it is widely done in Africa, in all of the Islamic world, in Africa, Indonesia, countries like that, and in India it is done within the Bohra community. This is similar to what a senior spokesperson from the community told Sahio, this is the newspaper, in a private conversation last year. So this reason for female and male circumcision, according to Daimal Islam, 10th century book of jurisprudence, is hygiene or taharat, is just not physical but also spiritual and religious. So that is what they say. And according to Daimal Islam, this circumcision has to be performed on all girls and all boys. And this is the Bohra community. And several Bohra women who support Khatna or FGM have taken to social media to defend the ritual. Can you imagine the audacity? These women are going in social media and defending this ritual. All these women claim that this FGM is done to increase the sexual stimulation, and that is wrong actually. They do it to curb the sexual desire in women. And that is scientifically and medically beneficial because it is just like the clitoral unhooding procedure done in the West. So, uh, here we see most common reason in Khatna were religious obligation, tradition, and to done to curb a girl's sexuality. So this is 50 Bohra men were interviewed in an article, and that is what came out. And this is actually a fact. It is done as a religious obligation and a tradition, and to curb a girl's sexuality. All the Islamic world believes that men can have as much sex as they want, and they want to curb the desire in a woman. So this is what is, and you see in several bohras, they refer to the clitoris as haram ki boti or sinful lump of flesh. So this is the thing. And a pinch of skin. A woman teacher from a Bohra religious institution clearly told her that the purpose behind Khatna or FGM is to control a girl's sexual urges so that she does not have premarital or extramarital affairs. So, this is the extent of doubting a woman, that you have put the women in veil. You have stopped them from going out, from working outside, from driving cars, from doing anything, and now you are so much suspicious that you have even cut off her clitoris so that she does not have an affair anywhere. So this is the extent. So I think I have covered enough. Um, this is what I wanted to tell you, and basically, so this FGM practice, we have seen the evidence from the hadith that Muhammad is telling that circumcision is important and not to cut too severely. And we have seen that all over over Africa, African countries, and Indonesia, they follow circumcision for every girl. And in India, this Bohra community in Muslims, they carry out circumcision in women. They start with infant girls. And can you imagine, in olden times they did not even have scissors or anything, and they used to do it with stone and axe, like we saw in old men who were axed in winter, and many of them died. Anyways, it's a very very depressing and saddening thing, and I hope that people raise voice against this barbaric practice in Islam. Islam is another name for barbarism, as we have now seen from the various hadiths and various videos. We have discovered how Islam is barbaric and it's cruel to everyone. I end my broadcast here. True Hindu, welcome. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, then thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And to support me, please pass on this information to two other people. Thank you and have a good day. And my Hindi version of the same series will follow in about half an hour. Thank you.